Hi everyone, welcome to the Courtside Club YouTube channel with a special guest today, Kentan FACEY, that is a pro basketball player in France, playing for PB 86. He's also part of the founding team of Courtside Club. So Kentan, welcome. It's a pleasure to be here with you.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks for us finally getting together to get this done.
Yep. And so just to start, can you tell us about your journey in basketball, how you start to play, but also how you turn pro?
Right. So from my journey started off in Jamaica. As you know, I'm Jamaican, born and raised in Jamaica, left when I was about 17. So I started off with basketball just for fun. Didn't really take it too seriously in the beginning. Funny enough, it was my aunt's husband who kind of introduced me to the sport formally. He had like the cutout top of a bucket nailed to the house, and we would go in the backyard and we would shoot and do push-ups and shoot stuff like that just to get active in the summer. Fast forward to when I was in high school. My high school basketball coach then at the time, his name is O'Neal Watson. He asked me, I hit a crazy growth spurt one summer. He asked me if I wanted to come to a basketball practice. I went, didn't think too much of it, kept showing up because I had nothing better to do after school, and that's how I got started. So from that point, getting better and seeing myself become more confident in how I carry myself and everything because I was getting better at something, that kind of kept me involved and interested in learning. A few years after starting, there's a camp that is hosted every year in Jamaica called the Star Search Basketball Camp, and it's put on by the Jamaica Basketball Association, where coaches from the United States, they come down and they try to recruit young talent to try to find scholarship opportunities for them to go overseas to further their education, and if possible, they could get into a basketball career. So that was the start of my journey. I started off playing basketball because my in-law introduced me. We were playing in the summer. Went back to high school, started playing then, went to the Star Search basketball camp, and that's when I met a guy named Steve Johnson. And he helped me to get better over a course of maybe 2 years. And then the second year going to that camp, he told me he had found an opportunity for me to go to high school in New York. So that's how that played out.
And you are pretty successful in New York in high school.
Yeah, my experience in New York was good. It didn't start off that way because, as a young player new to the game of basketball, it was tough to adjust. But for me, luckily, I had my now family. This is at the time where my host family, where this is where I lived, because my brother, my now brother, was on the team that I was coming to from Jamaica. He took me in. His family took me in, and from then he kind of showed me the ropes and everything like that. We got better together over time, and from that point, we became like family. So that's still my family to this day. My entire, as you'd say, blood family still resides in Jamaica, but my adopted family in New York, that's a part of my family now. So with my brother and my friends and teammates around, I got a chance to learn the culture first of all, and develop my skills over time. And the first high school I went to, I ended up transferring out to a second high school called Long Island Lutheran, and that's where we won a state championship and all this stuff. I won Gatorade Player of the Year for New York that my senior year of high school. So from then, I had some college offers coming in, different colleges, and I wound up going to University of Connecticut.
Yeah, well, you won the NCAA championship your first year.
Man, it was for me. It was I wouldn't say luck, but everything was just aligned as far as as far as starting in Jamaica and getting an opportunity to move out and expand and learn and develop a career or start a career. So from that point, coming to New York and winning a state championship, then having the opportunity to go to a Division I school and pursue a basketball dreams, starting with Uconn, went there my first year. I had guys on the team, like incredible players, guys like Shabazz Napier, who's over here now, guys like Niels Giffey, who just won the World Cup with Germany.
Yep.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Those guys were on that team. A bunch of other talented guys was on that team. So it was easy as a freshman to really learn the right habits. And those guys kind of propelled us, along with Coach Kevin Ali and Coach Miller and the rest of our coaching staff, Coach Moore, Coach Hobbs, all those guys. They helped us, Coach I, they helped us to, you know, be successful my first year. So we experienced that. For me, it was a great experience because not a lot of people get to experience that. And for me to experience it my very first year in college, it was incredible.
Yeah, and then after UConn, you stay your 4 years over there.
Right.
Then when did you know that you would be able to play pro, either in the States or overseas?
That dream developed as I started to get better.
Mm.
You know, at first I didn't know much about as far as when I first began playing basketball. Didn't know much about the sport. You know, I probably knew Michael Jordan's name and Kobe Bryant, LeBron James. It was not much that I knew. A funny story: when I first started in Jamaica, I had a friend named Dario Miles. He kind of like was bringing me along because I was raw, really raw, just athletic. I was fast and tall and skinny, very skinny, skinnier than I am now. It's hard to believe. But when we started, it was a guy named Dario. We called him Barney. He used to say me and him were Stockton and Malone. And at the time, I had no idea who Stockton or Malone was. So sometimes I'd go to practice and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm Stockton. And he's like, no, bro, you're Malone. You're the big man. So just my knowledge of basketball was very limited at that time. So just learning and playing, the more you play, the better you get and the more you learn about the sport. And getting to college, I had guys like Sam Cassell Jr., who was on the team, and these guys, like, they knew everything about basketball. Everything there was to know about basketball, this guy knew. Like, he would say, KG did this back in '08. Like, he would spit out random facts, and I'm sitting there like, wow, I need to, like, study more or learn more about the game. So that was it. But as far as me having that dream of becoming a pro, that probably started when I got to high school in New York.
Okay. And so we all see the games from the NCAA,
Right.
crazy people in the stand and everything. Can you tell mostly to people in Europe
Right.
what is it to be part of a big team like UConn, what you can experience as a player,
Right.
the relationship with the fans, and would you encourage mostly European players, but maybe French player, to go there to live like a lifetime experience?
Yeah, for me, it's in comparing guys coming from Europe to the States, it's kind of similar because I came from Jamaica to the States, right? It's from a different culture and everything like this. So the experience that I have and the experience that a guy from Europe would probably be similar. You're moving away from home. You're getting assimilated in a new culture. So it's new. It's challenging, but it definitely helps you to take another step, get out of your comfort zone, and develop as a person, not only as a player, but develop character and develop all these things that you would not otherwise do if you were just comfortable at home.
Okay. And what would you say also to American players looking to play pro basketball overseas, like you
Right.
did and you're doing actually? What would be the key issues, the struggles, or maybe the advice you can give them?
Right. So my main advice is for anybody trying to become a pro in the States, try as hard as you can to make it to the NBA first and foremost. That's where the majority of the money is, obviously. But if for some reason that doesn't work out, then overseas is a very valid option. Now, the first thing I'd say is to get it out of your mind that going overseas means it's easy. By no means is it easy as far as the basketball, as far as just getting into, again, another new culture, trying to learn the language, everything like this. And the basketball is somewhat different, I'd say. In the sense that when you get here, it's not as much. I wouldn't say like individual star power versus a team concept. Like you try to fit into a team versus other places where it's like more individual based.
Okay. And so unfortunately, you had to go through some injuries.
Right.
Can you tell us and explain the process as a professional athlete? You go through that from the physical part, but also for the mental side, because it has a huge impact on your mental health.
Yeah. So for me, I was lucky enough to go through majority of my career, knock on wood, without any major injuries except for maybe 2.5 years ago when I had my first major injury when I was in Supervisheim towards the end of the season, had a solid year. Towards the end of the year, I tore my ACL. So that was probably the most challenging thing that I've been through so far. But lucky for me, I had a really great support system around me. My wife led the charge with that. She made sure everything was taken care of, from setting up doctor's appointment making sure I was eating right and going to my rehab and everything like this. She was crucial in me being able to overcome that challenge. Um, as far as the mental part of it, it was tough, man, because you had to sit down for months at a time, not being able to move around like you normally would. You're worried, am I going to be able to come back and perform at a high level? You know, all these things are going through your mind, but you just have to take it one day at a time, one step at a time, and it'll work itself out if you're committed to the process. There's no guarantee that you'll come back and be what you were, but if you don't stick to the process, you could guarantee there's 0% chance you return.
Yeah, and okay, so we'll jump to another topic. You're from Jamaica.
Right.
There's a lot of professional Jamaican basketball players all around the world.
Right.
How come there is not a very competitive national team from Jamaica in big FIBA tournaments?
Right. As it stands now, we are in the process of rebuilding our basketball brand in Jamaica. We started another professional league there maybe 2 summers ago when guys from the States and guys from Canada, guys as far as the Middle East, I've seen guys come to Jamaica to play. So that's in the works of reestablishing ourselves as a basketball powerhouse in the Caribbean and then branch out from there. Um, Over the last few years, however, there's been like a lapse. We were off the international scene for quite some time, and to get reestablished is where we're having some problems. You know, like to get into these tournaments that you needed to have qualified for previous tournaments and all that. So now we're trying to get the ball rolling and try to get ourselves reestablished. Now we're laying the groundwork. A lot of guys back home are laying the groundwork to bring in young talent. There's one organization now that I've seen called Phase One. They do a bunch of camps and Elite One. So we have different leagues in Jamaica, and that's kind of like setting the foundation for us to take the next step to get our national team back with talented guys to be able to compete with the rest of the world.
And you're also very involved with some charities and basketball camps
Right.
in Jamaica. Can you tell us
Yeah,
about it?
so at a grassroots level for me, because at the moment it's just me doing what I can with the little resources that I have, and that has prompted me to establish a foundation where I could kind of like harnessing like the power of the community to kind of like help provide more resources to younger kids or people who are more at, disadvantaged than others to try to find a way out in a sense. For me, what I try to do is every summer when I go home, there are different camps put on by different individuals. In this coming summer, I'm planning to host a bigger camp, but in the past years, I've been donating my time to help kids understand the game and stuff like gear, sneakers, and all these things. And this past summer, probably gave away like 20 pairs of sneakers that personally I kind of like put this all together. So now I'm trying to establish a foundation where we could do more.
Okay, very interesting.
Yep.
And also, last but not least, you're part of Courtside Club
Right.
founding team. We met during that
Yeah, yeah.
journey together
Right.
to try to build a new way for pro basketball governance thanks to technology. Can you tell us why you joined and we're part of the same team
Right.
around Courtside Club project?
Yeah, so the main reason, obviously, I joined, Xavi introduced me to the project. Xavi is another co-founder, a teammate of mine. We played together in St. Vallier last year. So he proposed this project to me, and it was really interesting at the time because going through the pandemic and everything, I started to pay attention to different things outside of basketball, you know, crypto and the crypto space and everything like that. So I started to learn a bit about different tokens and things of this matter. So when Xavi explained the project to me, it sounded really interesting because we're using technology, and obviously everything is heading in that direction. You know, everything is geared towards digital technology, and the advancements technology is making things easier for us. So the technology behind the project is really interesting, you know, because it's bringing the fans to interact in a way that never before we saw. Players get to hear more from the fans, and fans get to interact with players on a level that was usually more reserved for like high-paying season ticket holders and guys or people of this nature. So for the fact that Courtside Club provides a venue where everyone could come together and interact, it's something that was very interesting to me, and that's probably the main reason I joined the project.
Cool, great. So thanks for having us and being part of the founding team. It was a pleasure to talk to you, Kentan. And we wish you a great season with PB 86.
Thank
A
you.
great success with Courtside Club, obviously. Remember to hit the like button, subscribe, and get notification. Thanks. See you soon for some other interview. Bye.